I feel like an old lady today. I've got my cardigan and my coffee in my hands. But yeah, so I wanted to share some book recommendations. These are all books that I had on my shelf that I really resonated with, that I really loved for one reason or another. I know, boo. Well, sleepy baby. Quick disclaimer, these are all books that I personally loved for one reason or another. I will get into the specifics of that when I pull out each book. Again, my opinions, books that I really loved, that I resonated with. These are all books that I have. I've read other books, but these are ones that I have currently that I would recommend. So we're going to start off pretty lightweight. I would recommend this if you're a bit of an older reader, if you're at least 18, because there are some sex scenes in it. But Virgin River. Also, I don't like that like you can't take off the Netflix sticker. I don't like that. I need to stop doing that. It's completely stupid. But yeah, I actually found this book by chance. I've watched the show. I think they just finished filming the 7th season, and I've watched it from the beginning. I love it so much. It's kind of the classic woman has a tragedy in her life and she escapes to a small town to start over kind of thing, or at least to get away. I think she goes from LA to Northern California. I know she does in the show. I'm trying to remember if it's that way in the book. It's been a little bit since I've read it, but it was a pretty easy read. It's fairly lightweight as far as topics go. They do talk about loss and like loss of children as well. So I would definitely use caution if that's something you're not great at reading, if it's something you struggle with reading. And it is pretty heavy on the romance, but it ended up being really great. I don't usually lean towards romance, but overall, it was a fantastic book. So I would definitely recommend. I need to find more by Robyn Carr. There is a whole series, I think, that goes along with this. So maybe I'll just pick up like the next few books and see how things go. But overall, yeah, I would definitely recommend this, and I would recommend the show too. Okay, the next one, again, if you're more of an adult reader, because there are some sex scenes in this also, and it is very heavy on the romance. I mean, Nora Roberts is an incredible writer. I have a few of her books, actually. I think I have that one, and I may have ordered other books that I won't talk about because I'm doing a whole video about it. But anyway, she is pretty heavy on the romance, but this is definitely like a mystery thriller with like a subplot of romance. So basically, the back says Eli Landon has come home to Whiskey Beach, where he comes up against a woman with his best interests at heart and a past that brings out the worst in a man. So essentially, he's accused of murdering his wife. They don't have enough evidence to keep him. He goes off to Whiskey Beach, where his grandmother lived, because she had had an accident and he wanted to maintain the home. And then he finds out that it wasn't an accident and there was a lot going on in the house and there was treasure involved. It's actually such a great story. I have read it twice. It's that good. But I would definitely recommend really anything by Nora Roberts, but Whiskey Beach in particular. I got this in a book club years ago, and it's one of those ones that I will always keep on my shelf. Okay, now this next one definitely is more for adult readers. This one was made into a movie. I finished this in maybe 2 nights. It's only like 270-ish pages, but it is Silver Linings Playbook. This was another one that I got in a book club because, to be honest with you, I would not have picked this up myself. But that's what's great about book clubs is you can have people recommend books to you that you would never have read. Like, I probably never would have picked up Killers of the Flower Moon if I didn't pick that up in a book club, because it's just not a genre that I usually read. And it was hard to get through at times. It was still a good book, and it was something new. Now, this one definitely has adult themes. There's a lot of talk of mental health and other things that go along with that I won't say, because I don't want to even say the words in a video because you can get flagged for stuff. But it really is an incredible book. Oh, it was a debut novel for... So essentially this man who's struggling with his mental health finds out his wife is cheating or accuses her of cheating. I can't remember if she actually cheated. I think she might have. And he kind of loses it, and he ends up getting locked up in a facility, and after he gets out, he's supposed to be bettering himself, staying with his parents to help, and that's when he meets another woman, and she kind of has this past of her own and some tragedies that she had to work through, and they kind of help each other through that really tough time, and they fall in love. So Not a ton of romance. It kind of hits romancy at the end, but overall, it was actually an absolutely fantastic book. I mean, for a debut novel to be made into a movie, it has to be a great book to be like your first book made into a movie. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so the next one I have is I'm actually in the process of annotating it for another video that I'm doing. And this also was a movie, but Water for Elephants. It's hard to read the title, but I'm in the process of annotating it. It's an incredible book. I'm about that far through right now, and I'm hoping to finish it this weekend so that I can watch the movie and do the video I want to do. But essentially, Jacob Jankowski in 1930s, I think like 38, is finishing up his vet schooling at Cornell, and he finds out that his parents died in a tragic car accident, and he runs out of his final exams because he just can't handle it. The dad's vet business had no money because he wasn't accepting payments from people because they didn't have money. It was during the Depression era and things. So he had nothing. He absolutely had nothing. So he just ran off and was sitting by the river and heard a train and was like, I gotta get out of here. Jumped on the train. Turned out to be a circus train, and he joins the circus, and it's a story of tragedy and love and all of that. This is not a new book. I don't even know what year this came out, but the movie is an incredible movie also. It is Robert Pattinson and Reese Witherspoon that they cast, which I thought was a little odd. 2007. Really? 2007? Oh, this was a 2006. It's an incredible book, and I'm rereading it probably for the third time for annotation purposes so that I can do my book versus movie video. Okay, so the next one, I've talked about at least 2 of these books multiple times in other videos. So we're gonna start, what should I start with? I'm gonna start, this is like my favorite book that I've ever read, and it was recommended to me from somebody else. I never really cared for fantasy books. I really didn't know what genre of books I really loved until I picked this up and was like, this is exactly what I love. But The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd. I've talked about her a few times. I'm in the process of reading her other series. I have one more book left. I was gonna finish all 3 that week, but I only did 2 because I really wanted to get to Water for Elephants. So I'm gonna jump back into that and finish that. But yeah, so it follows Juliette Moreau, who's the daughter of Henry Moreau, and if you know that kind of folklore, so it's the folklore of Henry Moreau, who is mixes animal and human DNA and like does experiments and stuff. He's kind of run out of town by the other doctors he was working with, and she doesn't really understand why because she was so young at the time. So something happens in her life, and she goes on to try and find him, and it's a little bit of romance, and wow, I actually like romance more than I thought I did. Anyway, there's a little bit of romance, and there's travel, and it's set in like the 1800s. I don't know exactly the year that it's set in, I can't remember. So she has to like take a ship to this place that she thinks that her father's at. It's honestly just an incredible story, and I really hope that they turn this into a movie. I don't know who you have to talk to make things into movies, but you need to make this into a movie. There's actually a trilogy. So this one is trying to find her father, Dr. Henry Moreau. The second one is her after she flees this place. I don't want to tell too much because I don't want to spoil it. So the second one is kind of loosely based off of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then the third one is based off of Frankenstein. But it's all like her family and experiments and things that have happened. So it's just honestly such a great book. And the whole trilogy is great. I've read all 3 of them like from beginning to start 3 different times. And to be honest with you, I might do this over like Christmas this year because I haven't read them in a little bit. So I want to read them again. The other one that I am going to talk about is another Megan Shepherd book. The next 2 are going to be Megan Shepherd books. The Secret Horses of Briar Hill. Now, I kind of stumbled on this by chance because I found another book of hers and it suggested this. I think it was on Thrift Books. And it's a pretty short book. I finished it in a day, and it's following this girl who is in a home where they keep sick children back during when tuberculosis was a huge pandemic. And she sees these winged horses living in the mirrors in this home that she's in. And she's trying to convince people that she sees them, and everybody's like, you're crazy, I don't know what you're talking about. But then she has one friend who is really, really sick, who, you know, tries to see them and tries to believe her. And I honestly was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. It sounds kind of like a kid's book. It was so good. It was actually kind of heart-wrenching at the end. But I would recommend this for maybe not necessarily an older reader, but a teenager, young adult, or if you're in like middle school, you probably really like this too. There's really nothing inappropriate in it. But she really, really does a great job at making you see things from the kid's perspective. And then it took me literally until the end of the book to realize that she was in a tuberculosis hospital, because they call it like the illness, the sickness. And so I thought maybe it was like a mental institution, but they were all kind of like, she could get out of a room at night. So I was like, I don't understand. So it did take me a little bit to figure that out, but it's so good. It's so good. I would recommend it so much. And now this one is my favorite book of all time. Well, that's not true. The Madman's Daughter trilogy is probably my favorite. But I also love this Megan Shepherd novel, Malice House. It is the story of a woman who is an artist, and she goes off to her dad's house, which is Malice House, and her dad, he actually had died, and she went out there. Her father passes away, and she goes out to his oceanside house to try and clean it out, because I don't know if she ends up not wanting to live there or whatever, and she ends up finding old manuscripts, and a lot of them had to do with his delusions he was having. And so she started to do sketches and things like that, and she realized that for whatever reason, her and her father have this gift of when they write something or when she draws or paints something, that it becomes reality. So these delusions that he was having were actual things that he wrote about in his manuscripts. And it was so interesting, and the imagery is incredible. And I literally finished it in this is one that I finished so quickly. This is also one that I bought new. I don't usually buy books brand new. I usually get them used, and then if I really love the book, I'll get a nice new copy. But every single time she comes out with a book, I will get a brand new copy. This does have a second book to it, Midnight Showing, and there is a little bit of romance, but it's very I have a connection with him. I don't know what it is. So you can definitely read this as a younger reader. I definitely like the Malice House by far is better than Midnight Showing, but I do really love them both. I would give Midnight Showing a 4-star, and Malice House is definitely a 5-star. It is maybe it's not a huge book. It's hard to tell with hardcovers, but 373. That's kind of around the size of books that I end up picking up, but it's an incredible book, and I would definitely recommend it. Okay, so that's all I have for recommendations today. I have so many Megan Shepherd books that I'm recommending. One of my cubes is pretty much empty. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus Midnight Showing would be 8. I would definitely recommend reading both of them. They do go together. Obviously, one's book 1 and one's book 2. Yeah, I am always out there looking for new things to read and recommendations. So I like to browse around. So I thought I'd kind of add to the information pool of that. A lot of the books that I read are not necessarily stuff that's super popular on Book Talk and BookTube. A lot of I do have A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a huge, popular trilogy. I'm not sure that I'm going to end up liking it, but I did pick up book 1 so that I could kind of try it and get into it. But I also really love to read books that have corresponding movies, because I like to see the difference in how they did the book versus the movie. So I will be doing that with Water for Elephants. That's the first one. I have already seen the movie and read the book, so I think it'll be a good start to kind of figure out the format that I want to do that in. Because I have already read this, it'll be easier to kind of figure out how I want to do all of the book versus movie formatted stuff, but I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I guess that's all. There are other books that I do really love, but if you're really wanting to get into reading, then those are ones that I would recommend. And I'm hoping to hit some of the other series of books that are recommended on BookTube, because I think they're recommended for a reason. I'm not going to say that they're not good books. I've never read them. I also am considering doing Game of Thrones. I've not read any of them. I've seen most of the seasons. I think the last 2 seasons I didn't see. So I guess we'll kind of figure that out. But that's a long commitment for sure. And I would like to get through Harry Potter, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet. But yeah, so anyway, I hope you like this video. If you do, subscribe, thumbs up. My video next week is my birthday, which I'm not sure how I feel about yet. I'm turning 30, but I think I'm gonna do a vlog for that day. I'm gonna try and like film throughout that whole day and post it. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure. I might post it the next day so I have time to edit. I'm not totally sure about that yet, but come back next week. I also have a couple other videos I'm gonna film today so I can get ahead and I can get a video for each week. I do have a book haul coming. I shouldn't have bought books, but I did. And then I have another fun project that I'm working on that I'm gonna hopefully finish filming today. Well, not finish filming, the project itself I need to finish filming. But yeah, anyway, okay, well, I will see you next time. Okay, bye.